Hi, I'm Leah. I'm a master gardener in Sonoma County, and I'm here at the beautiful Los Guillicos garden, and we're going to talk today about doing no harm and making sure that you do a beautiful job taking care of your topsoil. So we're going to do that by talking about no-till. And I want to start by just saying I was raised to go out and dig in the garden and get it ready for spring. My grandfather, well into his 80s, was out with his spade digging away to prepare the soil. And it turns out that's not such a good idea. In fact, scientists are telling us today that we're in a real topsoil crisis and that we could lose like 60% of our topsoil in the next several years if we don't take better care of that really rich, nutritious layer that we grow everything important in. So why aren't we supposed to dig? Why are we going to retire our digging tools so that they can semi-retire? They don't have as much to do anymore. For several reasons. Some of the reasons are structural. When you dig in your soil, you have a tendency to compact that soil so it's denser and tighter, and that means that it's harder for the water to penetrate. And that's a problem because when water starts pooling, if it pools too much, it runs off, and it takes, for example, if you're using nitrogen fertilizer, it takes that fertilizer with it, and you create a real pollution problem in the waterways. You also can lose a lot of soil to erosion, and the soil that's left sometimes makes a crust, which is not good for growing things. But compared to what happens biologically, that's nothing. The biological problems when you till are also really significant. The first is that remember that soil is made up of trillions of these little microscopic organisms, the microfauna, that are living, eating, excreting, dying, and decomposing in your soil. And you really can't go in and dig through their homes, damaging their homes, killing and damaging them, and hope that your soil is going to be healthy. I think we've all had the experience, the bad experience of cutting an earthworm in half and then thinking, oh no, we really need those earthworms and those smaller microfauna to keep our soil nutritious and healthy. So the other problem with tilling your soil is that the soil has cooperated with the plants, which are going through their photosynthesis process to store carbon, and then some of that carbon comes into the soil, and the soil stores that carbon. And carbon is a real pollutant in our atmosphere. It's one of the greenhouse gases that's causing global warming and climate change. So when you have it in the soil, you really want to keep it there. You don't want to disturb it and release it so that it contributes more to global warming. So how do you act like a good soil citizen by no-till? Well, there's some really great alternatives, and master gardeners can teach you more about them on our website. The first is to generally cover your ground. You may want a little bit for native bees that's left bare, but you generally want to mulch, whether you're using a commercial wood mulch or whether you're using leaves or cardboard and straw. Any of those things to cover is a very good idea. You also might want to plant cover crops. Cover crops would be, we think of them as green manures, things like fava beans, Austrian winter peas, crimson clover. Those are all great in our area in Sonoma County. So you cut those down when they are reaching a certain level, and then you leave the roots in the ground where they decompose and they create more nutrient-rich possibilities for all those microfauna. And then the third thing that you might want to do is when you have to take a plant out, unless it's a really big tree, just cut it off at soil level and let the roots stay in the ground where they can decompose so that they bring all their nutrients to the soil. So those are some ways you can make no-tilling work for you and also benefit trillions of microorganisms and the planet. So happy gardening, safe gardening. See you next time.